Hey YouTubers, Raven here.
Starfire.
And today we're talking about Legends.
Season 6, Episode 11, The Final Frame.
Yeah. I mean, it was a pretty decent episode.
It was.
Like, I wish I could say that I expected more from them at this point. I did until the season happened.
I liked all of the Zari and Nate stuff.
Yes, it was so adorable.
That's what made the episode.
It did. It did. The rest of it was kind of cringeworthy. I loved the Gary stuff.
And I mean, I like bowling, so for me, the bowling stuff was fun.
Right.
But
their infighting wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, bowling in general was fun.
Yes. And I love that an alien fell in love with the concept of bowling and made it so every alien that walks into his little alien bowling alley turns human. Like, on the outside, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I love this old dude.
Yeah.
Constantine can go fuck himself.
I mean, this is all leading up and foreshadowing what he's going to become in the next season.
Yeah.
Because they said that he's going to be playing a whole new character. Constantine is going to be put to rest. And, you know, this is just all foreshadowing that.
Right.
And I don't necessarily like the way that it's happening, but it is what it is.
I mean, I feel sorry for new Zari. You know?
Can we just have our Zari, please? Just always, like, please?
I understand their reasoning. She's from an alternate timeline.
I know.
If she stays, she can fuck with reality.
I know, but...
I know.
I missed her so much.
I know.
And her and Nate are, like, so great.
Yes. I understand that our Zari wears a lot of flannel. But for Behrad to say, flannel Zari and Nate, I'm like, no. Fuck no.
Behrad is just Behrad. When he was making brownies, I legitimately thought he was making pot brownies.
Probably was. They were called special.
Yeah.
So yes, they
and then Constantine had to mess it all up.
I mean, they were already fucked over brownies. The middle was
all soggy.
Goopy. It was very goopy. It did not cook properly.
Yeah. You have to put them at a certain temperature for them to cook.
Yeah, but did you see how much thicker the center was? It's because he didn't even out the pan. And he used a square dish and probably put the same amount that you would in a rectangular dish.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a small amount of dough, you can use a square-sized one. Because I have made brownies in just a square-sized dish.
Like, he used enough to put in a fucking cake pan.
Well, he used enough to put in, like, a rectangular dish pan.
Well, you know, like, I mean...
would make, like, a casserole in or something.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what we make our cake in, you know.
Oh, we make the round cakes. We don't make the square cakes.
Yeah, no, we make the rectangular cakes. So, yeah. Like...
That's why I was like, what?
Yeah.
You can't put that in a cake pan.
The only thing we use the round
cake pans
for...
are literal. We have literal round cake pans. So that's why I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, no, the only thing that we use the round ones for are like the bun ones, and we make
we have a
bread.
Bun cake pan too.
Right. But like those are the only ones we use, and we make monkey bread with that. We don't even make
we just
bread.
have like this, like the aluminum like round cake pans that you make cake in. And they come out round, and you put 2 stacks of them and put the frosting on it, and you have a round cake.
We've never done double layer cake.
Oh, that's always how we've homemade our cakes.
No, we always get a casserole dish, put it, like, mix it together, put it in there, and then throw it in the oven, and we're done.
The only time I've had a rectangular cake is when it's been a store-bought cake, and we've had it for, like, birthday parties.
Oh.
But whenever we homemade cakes, it's always been the round ones with the 2 layers.
I have never made... Okay, I can't say that. I did make pineapple upside down cake, and I think we had like 2 or 3 layers to that.
And we do have a bundt cake
with
pan, but we haven't really
made
bundt cake, but we have a pan for it.
So. Yeah, we've never made bundt cake, but we make monkey bread, and we use that hole in the center to make the ring of monkey bread.
Yeah, no, like, all the times I've had rectangular, the long cakes, like, it's always been store-bought.
So, yeah, for me, I was just like, dude, that's enough to make a brownie that big. You're good. Just stick it in the casserole pan.
I've never...
That's how we make our brownies too. We just mix it all together.
Well, I mean, we'll make brownies in a bigger container, like a bigger pan.
We put it in a casserole.
Yeah, we'll put it in a casserole dish. But like when I made brownies recently, it was a smaller thing of dough, so I just put it in a square one.
I mean, that makes sense.
And that was fine, and it cooked fine.
But you could tell by the amount of brownie he had,
it was so thick. Like he should have had it more spread out.
Yeah, he should have had it in a casserole pan.
Yeah.
Like.
Or a 13 by 9 is what they call it. A 13 by 9 casserole dish or whatever.
I call it cake pan.
People are going to call it whatever.
I know. But
like for me it was just confusing because I've never made a cake in a casserole dish before. So I was like, what?
Yeah. But so it's just like that's why it didn't get cooked all the way through because there was too much in the center.
Yeah. And with baking, you have to be precise.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you just do regular cooking, you can experiment. You can throw more things in a particular ingredient than something else.
But baking is different.
But baking has to be precise.
Baking is a science.
Yes, it is. And you have to do everything exact as it says to do it. Because otherwise, it's not going to come out right.
I mean, my cookies they don't come out right, but you know what? They taste fucking amazing. They come out like a cookie, they come out as one giant fucking cookie and I cut it into squares. They don't come out right, but they taste amazing.
It's a cookie cake, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, if you're baking is a science. Baking is very exact and precise, and you need to follow it directly or it won't work.
Yes. Or just come up with your own recipe.
If you put too much sugar in, it's going to be too sweet. If you put too much salt in, it's going to be way too salty. If you don't put enough butter in, it's not going to be gooey enough. You're not going to be able to ball it up into little balls to stick on the pan. Like there's all these things that go into baking that you have to do. Or it won't come out right.
Right. You have to knead the dough when you're making Christmas cookies.
Really?
Well, the ones we
You mean roll them? On a rolling pin?
But you have to knead it too. Like you knead it and then because you have to get the flour in there.
Yeah.
And then you roll it. At least the ones we made. I don't know about yours.
We don't make Christmas cookies that much.
We don't make them anymore either, but I had fun when I was a kid.
I've homemade pies though.
I've never made a pie.
I homemade an apple pie.
Ooh.
And I felt bad because the first time I homemade an apple pie, I used this old can of shortening that we had in our pantry, and it made the dough taste really bad. And so I didn't want to eat it because it just bleh. But so I was all proud of myself that I was homemaking an apple pie because it's a lot of work.
Right.
And it tasted bad. I'm like, But then I did it again last year and it was better. But
my dad makes pies sometimes, but I'm not a big pie eater, so.
Well, the pies that we usually have are pumpkin and apple. My mom, we all like pumpkin pie, and then my dad likes berry pies. Whenever we would go to my grandparents' house for Thanksgiving or Christmas, my grandma always got him a boysenberry pie because he likes boysenberries. And I'm not a big berry fan of with pies. Cherry,
I prefer rhubarb. So.
I've not had that, but cherry pies are a little too tart for me. They're good, but they're a little too much.
Yeah.
In terms of that. I like apple with warm apple pie with ice cream.
Oh, peach.
Or
cobbler.
Peach cobbler too, or apple cobbler.
Yeah.
Just pie a la mode is the best.
My favorite pies are rhubarb. I like the original rhubarb. I like strawberry rhubarb. I've
just not really had rhubarb.
Rhubarb is awesome. It tastes so good.
I'll have to try it.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's how he fucked up his special brownies.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh joy, Constantine and Behrad can be high together.
Right? Like,
I didn't say that, but like, I was thinking.
I mean, later on, you know, I was like, oh great, the two people that are high are gonna solve the problem.
Yeah.
Like, I came out and I just said it. I'm like, yay. That's just what we need.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just like, were they able to free, like, okay, so the bowling thing, cosmic bowling, was they were betting their planet, whatever, and all these other people lost their bet and lost their planet. Were they able to free the other planets?
That's what I was wondering, because it looked like when they rolled Earth back out into space, the other planets were there.
Yeah,
like,
but
we saw it go past Saturn and like
right, but
all that.
I think,
or Jupiter. Which one has the ring? Saturn? No, they both don't have rings. One of them has rings. The other doesn't.
Yeah.
I always get confused.
Saturn has rings. Jupiter has the spot.
Okay.
Jupiter has the hurricane, and Saturn has.
Yeah, Saturn has the rings. So it went past Saturn. So I think that they've restored it. Yeah.
Right, but were those even from our galaxy?
I don't know.
Like,
I do not know.
Because there were more than 9.
Yeah, there were. That's why I was like, it looks like there's more than 9 in that case already.
Mm-hmm. So...
And there were still, like, 2 or 3 spaces left.
Mm-hmm. I think there were 2 spaces.
Yeah. After Mars.
Right. If that was Mars.
I believe it was.
It probably was. Maybe it wasn't just like our little solar system. Maybe it was, like I just said, galaxy. It was our galaxy, not our solar system.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's why, maybe that's the amount of habitable planets that we have, you know, in the Legends universe.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's how that came to be, that these are the habitable places, not necessarily for humans, but for some sort of life, you know. So things were able to evolve into a form of life on these planets within this galaxy, within our galaxy, and those were what they looked like.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it was. I wish they would have explained that a bit more. I mean, all we got was, oh, this is what's going to happen to our planet if they lose.
I think that they just wanted to fix it, and so we didn't really get a full-on explanation of all the other stuff with that, but I was wondering that too.
Because if those weren't from our, like, galaxy in general, or our solar system, then did they go back to where they belong? Like...
I think they probably made sure that all of them got back to where they belonged.
Right. I mean, the Legends wouldn't let that.
Yeah, their whole point is to save the world and save the universe.
Yeah.
So I think that they would have made sure that they were restored back to.
Yeah. I think the old guy would have wanted it anyways.
Yeah.
But...
So... if Saturn was one of the ones that was, like, you know, put inside that case, I didn't see one in there with rings around it.
Well, I mean, when you looked at the red one, at first it looked like a planet, and then after the people got sucked into it, it just became another ball. And all the others were just regular balls. Some of them had, like, small color distortions and whatnot, but they were no longer planets at that point.
Yeah.
You know, I think that once it was put in stasis, and so being put in stasis, the rings wouldn't. I mean, technically speaking, you can remove Saturn, and the rings would be there until the gravity disappeared. because that's what is space debris that's caught in orbit.
Mm.
So the rings wouldn't come with the planet.
Oh, okay.
So I guess you can. It's not just space debris. Like it's like finely grained.
Yeah.
You know? So like some of it's from the planet itself.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the bigger planets get hit by all the asteroids. They're like our guardians. So the breaking apart of the planet itself, the asteroids, the comets, the whatever, just the space junk in general is what gets caught in the orbit and creates the rings. Yeah, it's basically like some of it's just like
its orbital period is 29 years.
29 years to make one orbit. Damn.
And the length of day is 10 hours and 42 minutes.
It takes 29 years to make 1 year on that planet. You couldn't even have full 8-hour work days on that planet.
Nope. Because you need to have some time to sleep.
Right? Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? The fuck?
Saturn is huge. It is the second largest planet in our solar system. Jupiter is the only planet that is bigger. You cannot stand on Saturn. It is not like Earth. Saturn is made mostly of gases. It has a lot of helium. This is the same kind of gas that you put in balloons. Its beautiful rings are not solid. They are made up of bits of ice, dust, and rock. Some of these bits are as small as grains of sand. Some are much larger than tall buildings. Some are up to 1 kilometer, more than half a mile across. The rings are huge but thin. The main rings could almost go from Earth to the moon, yet they are less than 1 kilometer thick. Other planets have rings. Saturn's rings are the only ones that can be seen from Earth. All you need is a small telescope. Saturn can float in water because it is mostly made of gas. Earth is made of rocks and stuff.
Rocks and stuff. Very scientific.
It is very windy on Saturn. Winds around the equator can be 1,800 kilometers per hour. That's 1,118 miles per hour. On Earth, the fastest winds only get to about 400 kilometers per hour. That's 250 miles per hour.
That would be like hurricane weather, yeah?
Yeah. Saturn goes around the sun very slowly. A year on Saturn is more than 29 Earth years. So if we lived on Saturn,
we'd be our age before 1 year passed. We'd be 1 year old.
How old are you? I'm 1 year. Because
and 129th old. I'm a year and 129th old.
Saturn spins on its axis very fast. A day on Saturn is 10 hours and 14 minutes.
So how do they count? Do they count the 29 years according to our day system or their day or Saturn's day system? You know what I mean? Because 29 years our time or 29 years according to 10-hour days.
I think they're counting it according to how long it takes to go around the sun, the orbit.
How long according to our day system?
Yeah.
Because if it was their day system, I'd be like, nah.
Yeah.
That's a little wonky there.
The ringed planet is so far away from the sun that it receives much less sunlight than we do here on Earth. Yes, the sun looks smaller from there. The day Saturday was named after Saturn.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the original name was like Saturn Day. We just changed it to Saturday.
That's cool.
Because it was named after Saturn, the god.
And then what about Sunday? Sun? After the sun? And Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday.
Thursday. But yeah, there are different names that were one of them is so Thor's Day, Saturn Day, like, not all the gods had a day of the week, but some of them did. What was... I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. Odin. Odin was the sun, so Sunday probably would have been Odin. Odin Day.
I see. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday Mars, are named after celestial bodies.
Yeah. Monday came because Mars wasn't, because you were able, like, because Mars.
Saturn, Sun, and Moon, but the other days are named after Germanic gods. So Tuesday was Tuesday, Wednesday was Woden's Day, Thursday was Thor's Day, and Friday was Freya's Day.
Right, Tuesday's way.
So yeah, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday are the celestial bodies. So Saturn, Sun, and Moon.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. So back to Legends.
Yeah. So I don't know. I was wondering about that too, but like I said, they probably saved them all.
Yeah.
Because it was about the universe and the galaxy itself. It wasn't just about the solar system.
Right.
But because people lived on them, and there's other people in other galaxies and universes.
Yeah. But the question is, did they visit other galaxies before they came to ours?
Multiverse.
I mean...
Well, the What If show is really, like, showing that is there. Because obviously this show is, like, coming out right before the new Doctor Strange, which is about the multiverse of madness. And that, all the stuff that's going to happen within this is supposed to relate to...
You know how What If started? It was originally DC Marvel mashup. So you could have DC characters fighting Marvel characters.
Well, I liked the first one that was about Captain Carter.
So Peggy became Captain America, but Captain Britain or whatever.
They called her Captain Carter.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a thing that has happened in comics. Like this. It's like
I think the second episode's about T'Challa. Black Panther.
Yeah. It's like
because each episode's gonna be about an individual character, like it's its own thing. So episode 1 was just about Captain Carter. The second one will be about Black Panther, and then
right. Like what they did with Captain Carter versus Captain America is kind of like what they did with on Supergirl, where Supergirl's clone was in Russia.
Yeah,
a Red Daughter. So it's basically
or Red, whatever her name was.
It was her name wasn't Red Dawn. Red Dawn
Red
is
Sun.
Red Sun is what they do with Superman. I had never heard of a Red Daughter, but they did that because they were doing Supergirl, not Superman. Yeah, Red Daughter is what if his ship landed in a different country. What if it landed in Russia?
Right.
So,
but yeah,
this is a what if Peggy became Captain America. No longer Captain America.
Well, because Finn, Steve Rogers, before he was Super Soldier, he got injured. And in order for the serum to not go to waste, she got inside the machine and became the Super Soldier.
Interesting. But yeah, so DC Legends. See how good of an episode it was? We keep getting sidetracked.
But yeah, so
it was okay. the idea of capturing planets like that is interesting.
Yeah. And it was just a bowling alley floating out in the middle of space.
Yeah, it reminded her more of Doctor Who. I was like, oh, they were playing Zathura.
Well, it just reminded me of that because they literally open the door and there's space.
Right.
So, like, whenever, like, sometimes when they'll open the door to the TARDIS, instead of, like, if they haven't gotten to a particular location yet, it will just be space.
Right, especially when Clara took off with the restaurant. It's like they opened the doors. And
so it just reminded me of that.
Well, for me, because it was a building like that, and, like, they opened the doors, and my mind went more so to Zathura because they opened the front door of the house, and it's just space.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, comets hit their house or whatever, and, like, so then, like, the house starts falling apart.
How weird would that be if your house was literally, like, just floating in space?
Well, it was part of the game. The game became reality, and whatever happened to you in the game happened in reality.
Like Jumanji.
Yeah.
No, but I'm just saying, like, literally, if we were just floating in space, like, our houses were just floating. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Like, if literally just the building itself, not the planet, but, like, the house, was literally all around us was just black and stars and galaxy and all that.
Yes.
That would be weird.
It would be.
Like, we couldn't go anywhere. We'd just be in space.
Yeah, we'd be under unique house arrest.
So...
yeah. It's definitely a mind-bending concept. Yeah. I am curious on how he kept the air within the bowling alley okay for the humanoids.
Yeah.
Like,
or the Earthlings, as he called them.
Yeah.
Earthlings. Oh my gosh. And then, like, when they rolled the bowling ball that was Earth back out into space and it got, like, put back in its place in the solar system, and they were playing the music from 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my gosh. That movie's all kinds of weird, by the way. The first 20 minutes of it is like, what is this? What am I even freaking watching here right now?
So, yeah.
But, I mean, I like the fact that the other couple that Nate and Zari ran into kind of helped Nate and Zari to resolve what they were dealing with their relationship. But they also were just really annoying.
Rock and roll, right?
She kept saying rock and roll.
Yeah. Like,
and then when she said the thing about the, I'm like, no. Just because you're okay with being apart doesn't mean that you don't want to be with that person. What the heck are you talking about?
Your fucking magazines are fucking stupid.
It's like, why do you have to believe everything that it says in a freaking romance magazine or gossip magazine or
right?
whatever?
I mean, apparently being as close as you were didn't help your situation any.
No.
Like,
because he got a vasectomy and didn't tell her. That's not something you keep from your freaking significant other, dude.
No. If we did that, if we had kids, we wouldn't be able to afford our stuff.
Probably not, but why does that matter? Material things are not important.
Obviously, she came to that realization pretty fucking quick.
And it's probably not going to work if one person in the relationship wants kids and the other doesn't. Unless you both come to an agreement on something.
Right.
Like, you know, if you decide to adopt or you decide to, you know, do something like that. But,
yeah.
Obviously she wanted kids and he didn't. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that line, it just kind of pissed me off because I was like,
rock and roll.
I'm like, seriously, why would you say that?
To create tension.
Like, you only have to be apart because you're long distance. It's not that you want to be apart. It's that you have have to be because that's the only choice you have at the moment. And so I'm like, no.
Exactly.
Don't believe the magazines.
Right. My parents had a long-distance relationship for years. Like...
Yeah.
And then they had me after marriage. Obviously, it worked. I mean, I'm here. They're still together. Like...
Yeah.
I mean... They're both over 50.
I think a lot of it is that you have to put in the work and the effort and the commitment, and people just aren't willing to do that, and that's why long-distance relationships don't work for them.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that they can't work in general.
Right.
They can work if you put effort into it, and you care about it, and you're willing to, you know, do that and be committed.
Exactly. And so in general, I think we kind of liked the episode.
It was better than what we've seen for the last few weeks.
It was lackluster, but it was 100% better than what we've been watching.
It was more fun. It was more enjoyable.
I did not like the high stakes at the end because it's like there are no high stakes.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't... Like, to me, it felt unnecessary, and it made me hate it.
Yeah.
Like...
I mean, that's almost how it felt, like I was saying, with the Black Lightning series finale. Like, it literally felt like it's okay. Yes, this is what's supposed to happen. This is who needs to die. This is what's going to make everything better so you don't have to deal with this crap anymore.
Right.
But at the same time, it felt very, like, lackluster in terms of a finale. Like, you think the last episode is supposed to be... I mean, yeah, you can have everything be happy and tie everything up with a ribbon and not have any of those obstacles to deal with anymore. That's fine. But...
It's boring.
You need to have something a little bit more exciting.
Like, for this...
Like, it didn't feel like an ending. It just kind of felt like that's it.
Right.
It's over.
Yeah. I mean, Jefferson will probably come into, crossovers sometimes.
They defeated the bad guy, which I'm glad about, because that son of a bitch needed to die.
Right.
For real.
No more resurrection pods. Shut the fuck up.
He got his due, so. But it was just funny because, I mean, you can see it if you want, but,
I'll probably just
Lala was, encased in, what was it, cement or whatever. And Tobias had him, in his house, encased in this thing.
Kind of Han Solo-ish.
Kind of, yeah. And so when Tobias dies, spoiler, so him and Jefferson are fighting each other. And he goes out the window and he, falls onto this thing at the end, so it's sticking out of him, and that's how he dies. And
anticlimactic.
And then everything's good. He's dead. All this Lynn and Jefferson are gonna renew their vows and all this stuff, and get married again. And then the last scene, you see Lala breaking out of the cement, and he goes to the outside, the window that's broken, and he sees Tobias laying there with that sticking out of him, and I forgot what he said, but then it ended. And I'm like, what? That's it.
Okay.
So.
That's not a series finale.
But I got kind of annoyed. I mean, I got annoyed too because, with the whole thing that happened with Jennifer where she, exploded, basically, and she was out in space. They tried to get that energy back to, bring her back into human form. And what came out was a totally different Jennifer. So it was a different actress playing Jennifer. But that was because the current one was off the show, and she was only going to be on a limited number of episodes.
Right.
But she comes back in the finale, our Jennifer. And so... And she was like, you stole my DNA, and you were, acting like you were me and all this stuff. And I'm like, what?
I'm sorry, were you going for a Phoenix thing? That's fucking Marvel. Like, so, like, I don't know.
Yeah, and then just, like, I don't know, Lynn and Jefferson just annoy me with the fighting all the time and, like, not understanding each other.
They shouldn't renew their vows.
And so I was just glad to be done with it. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Sorry, I went off on a tangent.
Oh, it's fine.
But, yeah, it could have been better.
Like this episode.
That's what I mean. The episode could have been better.
Right. Like, there is no high stakes like what they put onto Astra because there's more episodes this season. Mm-hmm. There's another season.
Yeah. So, and apparently they're not going to take a week break and then another week break. They're just going to air the rest of them.
Good. So there's no high stakes because they have to win. Like, it's a given that they win because of this. Uh-huh. There are more episodes. There's a whole nother fucking season. That's over half the cast. They're not going to kill them all off and destroy the entire damn planet.
Right.
Like, that's not going to happen.
I mean, the only one who's going to be leaving is Rory.
Yeah.
Is Mick.
Right. But, like, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that. So, all of these high stakes don't exist.
I just thought it was interesting how, like, the end of the world was the holes in the ball, and then like when they stuck their fingers in, it like changed the sky, and she shot at it.
She's like,
and he's
like, with the middle finger,
and then he's like, what the hell was that?
My finger. I'm like, yeah, bitch. Was it your middle one?
Yeah.
It depends on how he holds the ball.
Yeah, it's like this. Right?
It depends on how you...
Like, these two fingers go in the holes, and then the thumb hole.
It's not always like that, though. Mm. Different people hold it differently, depending. Like,
I do it that way.
Sometimes you hold it like that, sometimes it's like
I do it with these two fingers out.
Sometimes it can be like that.
And these fingers in the holes. So these fingers are in the holes, these two are out.
Yeah, I do like that, too.
Rock on!
But yeah, like, it just depends on how you hold it.
Yeah.
So if he held it like that, then yes, that very well could have been his, middle finger.
Yeah.
I love that it was out of Spooner's bag. You know, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, Ava's dress was all kinds of crazy.
Not originally.
I know.
It was nice.
I like the one she chose.
Yeah.
It was simple and elegant.
I like the end when Sarah's like, it's fine, babe. Like, it's fine. I love you too much to let you get married in that dress.
Yeah, she's like, you look beautiful in anything you wear, but I love you too much to let you get married in that.
Yes. Like, what the fuck was in the veil? Like, little kittens or owls?
Owls.
What the fuck? Like, what? I can't even. But it was funny watching Gary get in a dress.
with a bustle.
He's all shaking his ass. Oh, that was a fun
montage.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing?
I love that they made, like, the skirt tie-dye, like...
Yeah, that was cool. Because I think it's nice to kind of have, like...
You should have fun looking for your dress.
I don't feel like it needs to be full-on pure white. I like the fact that there can be, like, other colors in your dress.
Right.
Like, more of a champagne color, like an ivory, or...
Yes.
Like a beige, or... You know,
right.
Or even have, like, a gradient where you have, like, white, but you have, like, another color on the bottom or something, like purple or whatever color you want to have.
Yeah, like, I don't know, just... It was nice. And I fully believe that you should have fun looking for your dress, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and she was just doing it alone, just like, this looks okay. But she had no one to bounce it off of, no one to laugh at it with. Like, I think Gary was definitely needed. Yeah. And even though he was trying to keep her occupied, I think it was needed. She needed that.
She did. So what episode are they going to get married in then? I mean, there's only 4 more episodes.
Probably the second to last. And then the fuckface is going to be the finale boss.
But at least we'll have like a little over a month now before it.
Before it comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I had fun throughout basically the entire episode. And then the very end of the bowling fight, I was just like, I hated it because it felt so forced.
It did.
Because there are no high stakes in this. Because we know there's more. And yes, to the characters, that would be high stakes. But they put so much emphasis on that. That I was just like, this is the flattest thing I have seen in this show in years.
Because the season finale is airing September 5th of season 6, and then season 7 comes back October 13th. So we'll have a little over a month before season 7.
That's nice. I need the break from this stupid
season.
Fuck awful season.
So. Like we said, we'll determine
based on the first couple episodes
what we do
next season.
Yeah.
We will determine whether or not we continue reviewing Legends.
Which means we will only have The Flash.
And the rest of
Supergirl.
And then next season we'll only have a Flash. And the Outpost, obviously.
Yeah, if it gets another season.
Yeah. I know, filming with babies is a little difficult.
It can be.
We never really see Jo and Cecile's baby.
She's probably like 2 now.
It's true. It'd be a little bit easier to film with her. Yeah. But yeah, so it's,
I mean, we like Legends, but we're just not happy with this season.
No. I hope next season is a return to form.
So.
Yeah. So I guess, until next time,
always stay true to who you are.